Hey everyone, welcome to another episode. You're probably a TEW fan. This channel is aimed at all TEW games. Today we'll go through the various levels of crowd excitement and the match aims for booking a perfect show and crowd management. With that, let's get into it. So there are 5 levels to crowd management in TEW IX. Let's go through them. First up, we have normal. This is where you start the show after the pre-show, so no matter how good or bad the pre-show booking is, you will always start at normal. Also, when you reset the crowd using one of 3 match aims, calm the crowd, comedy, or eye candy, the crowd level will go back to normal. This is a good thing, especially for longer shows, but I will get to that later. Next up, cold. If you have a particularly poor rated match or angle that will absolutely kill your crowd excitement level will go cold. So to save it, you need to head backstage during the show and either move a match or add a new match with the match aim to lift the crowd. This is to reset it back to normal. This is the only time you will use the lift the crowd aim. It doesn't work in any other situation, but it is vital in this kind of situation where you've killed your crowd. Next up, we have hot or hot and rising. If you have a particularly good match or angle after you've done your first segment when it was based at normal, if you have a good match or angle to open your show, or after using one of the calming match aims, calm the crowd, comedy or eye candy, then you will end up with either hot or hot and rising. This was a slight boost to the match or angle you have put in place. Next up, white hot. If you have a particularly strong match or angle, you may get that singular biggest boost straight away and go straight to white hot. This is when the crowd is at absolute peak. You can reset the crowd with the previous mentioned calming match aims and build up to get a further boost depending on the length of your show. If you book more than 3.5 hours, you may burn the crowd out, however, and there's no coming back from that. That does include pre-show and post-shows. So I do recommend trying to get that white hot buzz every couple of segments in between. And finally, we have very hot. This is a great place to get to, as it does have great boost to the match rate and an angle. But after a few segments, I find the best result is to calm them down again and then build them back up. Get that white hot bonus on a particular match angle that you want to really do well with. So we have touched on the crowd management. Now it's time for the match aims. First up is regular. This is the normal match type in TEW booking. It does not give bonuses, but more importantly, it does not give penalties, which are more severe than any boost that you can get. If you are not sure which way to go with the type of match, this is your bread and butter, this is your go-to. Next up, we have work the crowd. This gives a small boost to a match when they are reset to normal or the first match of the show. Not your first, if you do an angle before it, I wouldn't put this match then afterwards. It's got to be the first thing you do in the show. I do prefer to steal the show or technical masterclass if you have the consistency in your workers, but if not, you've got inconsistent workers, it's best to use work the crowd to avoid that inconsistency penalty. Up next, we have lift the crowd. The only way I know to save your show if you have booked a particularly bad match or angle, go straight to your backstage during the show and move a match or add a match, the match aim to lift the crowd, and you'll get them back to normal, and then you can fix your show from there. Calm the crowd is up next. This is one of the match aims that resets the crowd back to normal. It's great if you want to go after that second or third white hot crowd boost depending on the length of your show. Once again, as you build them back up to a huge pop, I recommend using it 2 to 3 segments back from your main event to get that white hot bonus or that angle at the end of the show, whichever you're aiming for. Wild brawl. If you have 2 wrestlers with high brawling or puro stat, they will more than likely do well in this match. Always best to have at least one worker with high psychology or both wrestlers. They do need high stamina for best results as it's demanding on their cardio and their bodies. I would not go over 15 minutes in length or you'll be penalised. Next up, we have hardcore. It's pretty self-explanatory. If a wrestler has high hardcore skills and your product allows it, then you should do well in this match environment. Match lengths again are around 15 minutes for similar reasons, and as usual, having someone with high psychology involved will give it a bonus. Deathmatch, same as hardcore pretty much. It has a higher chance of injury though, so for workers involved as well as having someone in there with high psychology will give it a boost. High spots, wrestlers with high aerial and flashiness will do well in this match aim, but again, If one has high psychology, they will perform better. And like the previous 3, 15 minutes max due to the injury risk and toll it takes on the stamina levels. Next up, we have Technical Masterclass. This works well with normal or hot crowds. Any higher and it will have a negative effect and bring your crowd down. This should be a minimum of 15 minutes or higher. The better, depending on the wrestler's stamina levels. You can main event with it, but it won't get a boost from a white hot or very hot crowd. So you have to really plan where your angles go, where your matches go, to try and figure out what levels that are going to be for that to work. Next up, we have Eye Candy. This is one of the match aims that resets back to normal. It has a 10-minute time limit, but only use it if your product suggests it will do well, otherwise you will be penalised. Comedy matches. If your wrestler has one of the comedy performer or noted comedy match wrestler attributes, they will also boost in this match, like they would in comedy-based angles. Best to go around about 10 minutes max. This will reset the crowd back to normal levels again. Only use if your product suggests that the crowd would be open to comedy, otherwise a penalty to the rating and the crowd levels. Next up, Mayhem. Max of 20 minutes, definitely. This hides wrestlers' weaknesses, so it does limit the final match rating with a cap. If the match is bad, it can really affect your crowd and you'll have to lift them back up again. But if the workers can raise the crowd level if they put on a decent match. Better for lower card wrestlers than your top guys, but there are better match aims for good wrestlers than Mayhem. Next up, we have Car Crash. This is like a mix of high spots and wild brawl. It will get the crowd going, but has more chance of injuries happen. Again, no longer than 20 minutes, and it's advisable to have someone with high psychology to help hold it together, or you will get penalties in the overall rating. Next up, a lot of people's favourite, this is Steal the Show. So as long as you have workers with great stamina and consistency, a 15-minute match with this aim will get you the best rating the majority of the time. You can have these back-to-back, and there won't be any penalties. Excellent for TV main events or pay-per-view main events if you keep them around 15 minutes in the match. I tend to use these quite a few times throughout the show, especially on pay-per-views. Depending on your product, match focus as well. If you have the 3-ring circus, for example, and you've got to do 3 top matches in there, having 3 Steal the Shows will probably get you the best rating, so that might be the way to go. Next up, we have Spectacle. Again, 15 minutes minimum for this. The higher psychology and consistency for both workers, the better the boost can be. You need to get the crowd to hot level. Anything higher or lower will cause penalties. I have had great results on occasion, but prefer the more stable Steal the Show aim. Next up, Epic. Similar to Spectacle, the matches must be over 15 minutes. They will bomb if the wrestlers don't have elite psychology or if they have an off night. But again, you need the crowd at hot. Anything over or under and it will fail. And finally, once in a lifetime. So it does say wrestlers need to be 75% of the way to Hall of the Immortal level. It states for 2 legends to face off, and it's a one-on-one singles match only. I haven't actually tried this one, but assume it's got to have that 15 minutes or over, and they will need high psychology. Leave a comment if you have got this one to work. I am waiting for Supreme Challenge in this save to test it out, and then I will get back in another video. Just to note, the following match aim should not be booked in a row back to back without an angle in between. So Car Crash, Wild Brawn and Mayhem, otherwise you will be penalised. Same if you've got high spots and Technical Masterclass if they're ran back to back. To avoid this, you can place an angle in between like I just mentioned. Except with Technical Masterclass, as this could raise your level above the high level that it needs, the hot level, and then you'll be hit with penalties. You can run Steal the Show and regular match in a row, back to back, and you won't have any penalties at all. That's why they're most people's go-to. I have put together some examples of how to use these and rebooked the same show several times. So done some work for you. So okay, this is an SWF save I have been doing with most of my testing. We're going to rerun SWF Nothing to Lose a few times with different match aims, and we're going to move certain matches around in this video to see what effects that will have. We will open the show with 3 top workers with 80 plus psychology and all have great stamina, so we're going to set this first attempt at Steal the Show. Second match of the night, we have a Wild Brawl with Des Davids facing Remo. Next up, we have a Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match with storytelling, and this will stay the same in all versions. Fourth match is Valiant versus Scythe. This did really well when I had a co-main event at the previous pay-per-view. It got an 85. So this time we're placing it a bit further down the card just to see what happens. Then we have another Steal the Show match, which is our tag team title match. Primus versus Rogue is the next match, and this will have Calm the Crowd. It'll be a basic match with us just transferring popularity from Rogue to Primus. A small passing of the torch moment on pay-per-view. Next up, we are going to do a spectacle level match. I don't think they have the psychology to make this a legendary rating or anything, but the storyline suggested they're two of best in the world. I have an angle in between the previous Calm the Crowd and this, so hopefully it should be at the hot level that it needs, so we'll see if that works out. In the main event, we have Golden versus Remo for the title. We are going to steal the show. I'm interested to see what the results will be. Remember, there are so many dice throws each time, so we may not get the same again if we ran it 100 times, but we should get another idea of what works and what doesn't. Here is the overall card with the angles included, so I'll have a browse through that and then we'll run the show. So first up, an 87 rated first match with the Steal the Show. Can it be beaten with another match aim? We will test that out. Davids and Morgan in a Wild Brawl got a 78 rating, which is probably fair as Davids has 78 pop and Morgan has 71. Going into this match. 77 rated storytelling tag team 4-way. This will stay the same all the way through. Maybe the rating will change depending on dice throws and what the matches before rated at. Valiant versus Scythe stealing the show only got a 77, but Scythe was off his game, so that could be a factor. Also, the card placement might be a factor. Having too many very hot segments in a row, like a crowd level, they may be a penalty in there. I'm not sure. It didn't say anything in the booking notes, but let's keep testing. The tag team title match, Stealing the Show, got an 81 rating, which is great, even though Bukowski was off his game, so if he wasn't, what would that have got? We then calmed the crowd down with Primus defeating Rogue. This did have a creative finish, which went well, so they're given a boost, getting a 76 rating. I recommend using them if they're near certainty or likely to succeed, but if not, just chuck them in the bin. Just chuck them right in the bin. Next up, Lau versus Unleashed, which was a spectacle, got a 77. In the notes, it did struggle to perform to the level where they have a slow build, so I assume that's with their psychology levels, which are in the mid to late 70s and not in the high 80s, which I suspect would give you the best ratings. Next, despite a penalty for lack of selling, we got a 90 rated main event between Golden and Des Davids. And then in the final angle, I'm just going to show this one time, we had the return of Jack Bruce. Normally I bring him back at the 50th birthday spectacular, but he's always comes back as commissioner. I never bring him out of retirement. I bring him back to battle Eric as authority in storyline, but really USPW have better star quality and popularity at the minute, so I don't want to keep losing the ratings. So Jack Bruce is a game changer, so that's why he's here. Right, here's a look at the first overall attempt, a 90 rated show overall. Not too shabby. Can we do better? Let's have a look. Okay, in this second one, let's change the first match to Work the Crowd instead of Steal the Show. We'll try Mayhem instead of Wild Brawl in the Davids versus Morgan match. I can't see it being too much different, but let's see. I've switched Unleashed and Lau with Valiant and Scythe in the match order, so let's see how that turns out. If I'm right, Lau versus Unleashed should fail due to it being done to a very hot crowd instead of the hot crowd that it requires, but let's see. An 84 rating on the opener, between an 80, which was down from an 87 when it stole the show, so not too many points in it. A 77 for the Mayhem battle between Davids and Morgan, only one less than the Wild Brawl. As we thought, Unleashed versus Lau bombed with a 66 because the crowd was already over the hot level that needed, so as we thought, but just to show you there in testing, it is as I said previous. Still, we got an 86 overall with the main event dropping 5 points from last time. Valiant and Scythe did better this time, getting an 80, but I know they can do better because of previous results. Primus versus Rogue was not as good as the match idea failed on this attempt. The creative match idea failed. Okay, next time we're going to book a technical masterclass for the opener. I feel this should do well as the three are great in-ring talents and the crowd will be at normal, so I can't see an issue. Let's try a car crash for Davids versus Morgan. For the main event, let's do a regular instead of Steal the Show and have it slow build instead of All Out. Okay, wow, a 93 rated opening match with Technical Masterclass. It does have a creative finish, so that does give it a boost, but it did previously. So that was 6 clear points higher than the previous best. So that might be the way to go if you've got the talented wrestlers. Davidson Morgan getting 81 with Car Crash. Could have had a boost from the first match doing so well, but one for you all to try. I changed Unleashed and Lau to a high spot match, but I forgot to capture the image of that. But this got a 75 rating, so again, not the best for these two. Golden and Remo got an 87, so still not as good as Steal the Show, being 3 points lower when we just did regular on this occasion with a slow build. So here's an overall view of that card, with the full show ratings were on that attempt. So there we have it. We have tested a number of match aims. I didn't bomb any matches bad enough to have to go and save the show in the live booking section. I do want to test these more, so if I find anything else, I will make another video. If you're interested, please let me know. If that sounds good, why not drop a like and subscribe and leave a comment? That really helps the channel more than you know. I did try a diary, an SWF diary, which you may have seen. It didn't perform really well as I hoped compared to the other videos, so I'm going to stick to guides from now, but if I get any great ideas or anything like that, I may go back to the diary. So my friend is new to the game. He's only just bought it. I've been going on at him for years to do so. He's only just started playing, so I'm picking his brains on what hints and tips. Any questions he has, I'm noting them down. So there may be a new hints and tips video on the way. If there is anything, questions that you need, any support, put it in the comments. It may feature in the video. Until then though, if it's tips that you're after, why not check this video out, and I'll catch you all soon. Bye.